Hi, Jane. Am I audible?
Morning, Peruz. Yes, we can hear you.
Vikram, good morning.
Morning, Peruz. How are you?
Bas, keeping fine. Learning new things.
Good. Good.
Morning, Peruz. This is Sanjay
Good
Sani
morning,
here
good
from
morning.
Tata Steel. Yeah, hi.
I know.
Hi, Peruz.
Oh, get this. Hi.
Good morning to you, ma'am. Good morning. Ma'am, we've got Mr. Sanjay Sani who will do the welcome. May I request him? Thank you for joining us. We've got over 200 plus participants who are joining, and we're also doing the session live on YouTube, ma'am.
Right, that's okay. So whenever you start, just let me know I'm here.
We can start now, ma'am. 11.
We'll
Mr.
start.
Sanjay Sani.
Morning, ma'am. We just start now.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcoming you all to the special plenary session of the International Pipes and Tubes Expo 2020. I warmly welcome our eminent speakers for today, Srimati Rasika Chaube, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Steel, Mr. Vikram Kirloskar, Chairman, CII Trade Fair Council, and Vice Chairman, Toyota Kirloskar Motor Private Limited. We have with us Mr. Piruz Kambata. He's a past Chairman, Confederation of Indian Industry, Western Region, and Chairman and Managing Director, Rasna Private Limited. And Mr. Sanjay Sahani, Chairman of Steering Committee for CIS International Pipes and Tubes Expo 2021 and EIC Tubes Division, Tata Steel. Along with this, we have Mr. Videndra Gupta, Deputy Director General at CII, and Ms. Jane Karkara. She is the Regional Director for CII Western Region. We thank you all our audiences for their participation and presence at the event. And we are excited to see the encouraging response that we have received from all segments of the industry for this event. We have various sessions planned from 26th to 28th August, and today we are here at the special plenary session. To start with the session, I welcome Mr. Sanjay Sahani for his welcome address. Thank you, sir, for joining here, and over to you for the address.
Thank you. A very good morning to each one of you. We are in COVID times. I hope and pray that each one of you is safe and vaccinated. Thank you so much for joining in the special plenary session of International Pipes and Tubes Expo 2021. I warmly welcome our special speaker for today, Srimati Rasika Chaube, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Steel, Government of India, for joining us today at this session. Also welcome Mr. Vikram Kirloskar, Chairman, CII Trade Fair Council and Vice Chairman, Toyota Kirloskar Motor Private Limited. I would also like to welcome all our eminent speakers from the industry, audiences who have joined us today, including the 40 plus exhibitors who are using this platform to exhibit their products and services. At this juncture, where the global economy struggles to fight through uncertainties due to the current situation, I am confident that India's robust fundamentals and political stability would certainly help growth rebound soon with the industry and government collaboration. Various policies and schemes of Government of India aim to establish India as one of the leading economies of the world in the coming years. Since the Indian steel industry is among the world's largest industries, it has potential to greatly contribute to this vision of the government. Along with this, the increase in steel demand from various sectors, including automotive, infrastructure, oil and gas, in the coming days will ensure that there is further growth from such opportunities. The Indian steel pipe industry has emerged as the top 3 manufacturing hubs of steel pipes in the world after Europe and Japan. Various factors such as lower costs of production and quality ensure that we have contributed towards this growth. Certainly, tremendous opportunities exist for global businesses to collaborate with India and work with the local industry that will contribute towards building India into a manufacturing hub. With various initiatives being launched by the government, it will make the Indian market more lucrative for trade and investment. In addition, events like the current one has the potential to play a crucial role in bringing the industry together and providing a global networking platform. I'm sure that this will further help improve in the trade and investment and create more opportunities for joint venture for the industry players, not only in steel, but in stainless steel, in FRP, in glass, whosoever deal with pipes and tubes. Today's exclusive session aims to throw more such light in this direction. To start with the session, may I please invite Mr. Vikram Kirloskar, Chairman CII Trade Fair Council and Vice Chairman Toyota Kirloskar Motor Private Limited, to address the audience and begin the session.
Just a sec. I'll get my papers organized. Srimati Rasika Chaube, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Steel, Government of India. My friends Sanjay and Pirush, my colleagues from CII, the Secretariat, and all friends here, ladies and gentlemen. It's always strange, doing a video speech for a trade show. We have been so used to going to all the trade shows physically, meeting all the people, and this is really a little strange, different style of doing things, and I really hope it works out well for all the members who are joining us. Thank you for joining us. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming you all to this virtual edition of the International Pipes and Tubes Expo and Conference 2021. The economy is normalizing faster than expected from the disruptions caused by the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. While the phased unlocking of the economy, a sequential improvement in economic momentum has set in. Some of the high-frequency indicators for which June data is available, such as domestic sales of passenger vehicles and two-wheelers, railway passenger traffic, power demand, merchandise exports, digital retail transactions, have experienced an upturn. But the overall mood is still that of cautious optimism, and the numbers reflect a gradual recovery as consumer sentiment still remains weak on pandemic-related uncertainty. The spike in inflation is a lingering concern. The latest data print indicates that CPI inflation has soared to a high of 6.3% in June 2021, mainly on account of higher commodity and fuel prices. In fact, input prices of industrial commodities, including copper, steel, aluminum, lead, nickel, as well as precious metals such as gold and silver, have seen sharp surge recently owing to a rise in demand as economic activity resumes across the world. In my own industry, in the auto industry, we've seen price rises across all manufacturers because of the high increase in the prices of raw materials. Exhibitions organized by CII are not only India's largest events for the sector, but few of them are amongst the top 10 exhibitions in the world. EXCON, which is organized for the construction equipment industry in Bengaluru, is the 7th largest in the world. Auto Expo, motor as well as the component show, organized by CII, SIAM and ACMA, is the largest in India and amongst the top 10 in the world. Some of the other shows which hold number 1 position in India, Agrotech in Chandigarh, International Mining and Machinery Exhibition, IMME in Calcutta, Indian Railway Equipment Exhibition, IREE in Delhi, organized in partnership with the Ministry of Railways, Indian Gaming Show, and the All India, all organized, and the AI India, all organized in Delhi. I'm sure that the Enhanced adoption of the digital mediums has changed the way we market our products and services in the last 1.5 years, which has also been successful and has shown a lot of new innovations. Owing to this shift in the trend, CII has created a dedicated virtual platform, CII Hive, where over 140 plus virtual exhibitions have been successfully organized in the last 1.5 years. They had over 4,364 virtual stalls and around 2.58 lakh visitors. International Pipes and Tubes Expo being organized with the support from the Ministry of Commerce and Industry is one such initiative of CII that aims to create a global platform exclusively for pipes and the tubes industry. Considering the uncertainty and disruption in current global economy, it has become even more important to find new ways of generating business and boosting the economy. It will help in tapping the latest opportunities for the steel industry as well. The growth in the Indian steel sector has been driven by many factors like domestic availability of raw materials such as iron, ore, and cost-effective labor. Increasing demand of steel from infrastructure, oil and gas, and automotive sectors have played a big role in driving the growth of the industry. The finished steel consumption stood at an impressive growth rate the last year. It increased from 8.55 million tons in February 2020 to 9.13 million tons in February 2021. Given the ambitious targets being set by the Government of India for the economy, the infrastructure creation and development will play a major role in the growth of the pipes and tube industry. The pipes and tubes are highly used in numerous industries like oil and gas, petrochemicals, chemicals, pulp, and paper. They are a natural choice and are used in a diverse range of applications and equipment where low maintenance and corrosion resistance is required. I would like to thank all the sponsors, exhibitors, and steering committee members of IPTE 2021 for their support in making this edition meaningful and successful. Only with the complete support of the industry, a show of such kind is possible. As it stands, India is an investment deficit country and thus offers immense opportunities to foreign investors who are looking for business in India. We have been witnessing significant interest from international investors. Various schemes and policies by the government also make the Indian market a lucrative option for the global players. IPTE 2021 attempts to create a platform where all stakeholders can discuss and deliberate on the opportunities and challenges facing the industry, and to achieve this, an exclusive interactive session are planned during the conference sessions running parallel with the exhibition. Given this, I'm confident that an event like IPTE 2021 will play an important role of creating synergies for the overall development of the economy on one hand, and increase in trade and investments globally on the other. In conclusion, I wish all the success to the participants at IPTE 2021 Expo and Conference. Thank you for being here today, and we hope to have your continued support. Thank you. I think can I invite Srimati Rasika Chaube, Additional Secretary, to give her special address.
Shri Vikram Kirloskar, Chairman, CII Trade Fair Council and Vice Chairman, Toyota Kirloskar Motor Private Limited. Shri Sanjay Sahani, Chairman of Steering Committee, CII's International Pipe and Tubes Expo 2021 and EIC Tubes Division, Tata Steel. Shri Tyagarajan, Chairman, Confederation of Indian Industry, Western Region, and Managing Director of Blue Star Limited. Other champions of the industry, participants of the International Pipes and Tube Expo 2021, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, a very good morning to you all. It gives me great pleasure to be a part of this special pre-release session of the International Pipes and Tubes Expo 2021. And I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the CII for putting together such an impressive show for the pipes and tube sector, which is currently on a growth trajectory and is on a fast moving toward and working towards enhancing the economy. My heartiest congratulations to you all. I am really happy to note that there is a large participation of several leading companies from the pipe and tube sector. We have Tata Structural, Wellspun, BMW Ventures, Caparo Engineering India Limited, JBM Limited, which will make the several conferences which are being held under the aegis of this Expo very, very meaningful. And the feedback which we will receive from them will help the government to take necessary steps which are needed to further strengthen this extremely crucial downstream industry of pipes and tubes. As more and more tubular constructions are being encouraged, pipe and tubes have become a very integral part of our infrastructure development projects, especially in applications like water, like oil and gas, industrial and structural applications, to name a few. On the steel and mining front, transportation through the slurry pipelines is also gaining ground, requiring large slurry pipeline network, but still oil and gas sector, as was mentioned by Mr. Kirloskar, continues to remain one of the largest end users of steel pipes and tubes, and which is required to transport its products, be it petroleum, be it oil, be it lubricants. And to add to this, expansion of the city gas distribution network, which is taking place to cover 70% of our population. Then the capacity augmentation to increase the refining capacity from the existing 250 million TPA to move towards 450 million TPA. Plan to set up 10,000 CNG stations and other major upstream and downstream expansions in the oil and gas sector. All these are driving the demand for pipes and tubes in the oil and gas sector. You all would be aware that large investments have been planned for expanding the oil and gas pipeline network. In fact, investment to around 70,000 crores is anticipated to expand the gas pipeline network across the country. And so far, we already have around 17,000 kilometers of gas pipeline, and an additional 14,000 kilometers has been announced. Similarly, in case of oil pipeline, I'm given to understand that 29,000 kilometers is existing and additional 15,000 kilometers is expected, which will also bring in a huge amount of investment. Now, further to achieve the gas economy vision of the government, whereby we want to increase the 5% use of gas to around 15%. This will also bring in robust investment, which are being planned in the LNG and gas space, wherein regasification facilities are being proposed at the western and eastern coast of the nation by both the private players as well as the public sector players. And all this again shall require pipes and tubes and will boost the requirement, which will in turn boost the steel sector and the steel and the pipes and tube industry together. Not only this, India is the world's third largest importer and consumer of oil, and it plans to invest around $160 billion by 25-26 in expanding its refining capacities and in building gas infrastructure and in ramping up the exploration facilities. Now, through the clarion call, which our Honorable Prime Minister has given of Atmanirbharta, Government of India has urged the domestic oil and gas companies to use more and more domestically manufactured steel companies and to reduce their dependence. And we want to bring in more and more domestically manufactured steel products, manufacture them here, which will reduce dependence on import, boost the domestic steel sector, and in turn, the manufacturing base of the Indian economy will improve. Here I would like to share the domestically manufactured iron and steel policy of the Ministry of Steel, which is commonly known as the DMISP policy, which was put in place somewhere in 2017. And the sole purpose of promoting the sole purpose of this policy was to promote consumption of domestic steel and steel products by the government entities, be them they from the central government or from the state public sector. And this has resulted in import substitution of more than 20,000 crores in the last 2 years by government companies like ONGC, Oil India Limited, GAIL, to name a few. In fact, the major beneficiary of this policy have been the pipes and tube manufacturers, including those who make SS pipes, those who make seamless and welded pipes, and those who make tubular casings and connectors. And this has resulted, apart from substituting import orders and placing the same on domestic manufacturers, a lot of developmental orders are being placed on domestic manufacturers who are into pipe making, like MSL and JSL, by oil and gas manufacturing companies. And this has given a great boost to the pipe and tube sector. Now, apart from this, whenever we have found, the government has seen that whenever there is a dumping of pipes and tubes at predatory prices, and that same has been brought to the notice of the government by the pipe manufacturers, the DGTR, which is under the Department of Commerce, has carried out requisite investigations and imposed measures such as which are needed to be taken at that point of time. And so you see that the government has always given a helping hand within the prescribed framework of permissible rules, which whenever the need exists by the sector. Another important fact which I would like to share with you all is that once we in the Ministry of Steel realized that there is a huge potential for steel sector in the oil and gas sector, we organized an exclusive webinar for oil and gas sector in June 2020, wherein detailed discussions with oil and gas operators, pipe and tube manufacturers, contractors were held with the aim to understand the issue and challenges which are being faced by them in meeting their requirements of certain steel pipes and tubes from the domestic sources. And at the same time, the domestic steel industry, they showcased their capabilities of meeting most of the demands of the oil and gas sector locally, and also understood where they were deficient. In fact, this was a very good exercise which we carried out, and they also understood what all technology deficit existed, what are the economies of scale issues which we needed to address. Now, to overcome these issues, oil and gas sector was asked to share their long-term perspective plans with us, say for 10 years, so that the steel players who are catering to the pipes and tube sector could know the future upcoming requirement and set up shop accordingly. Now, as a follow-up to this webinar, we set up a special joint committee that with AS Steel on one side and JS Refineries as on the other side, both as co-chairs, wherein Engineers India Limited and MECON jointly submitted a report on behalf of the oil, gas and steel sector. The committee has analyzed and identified short-term, mid-term and long-term requirements of steel across the entire value chain of oil and gas sector. This will help the supply side to get very robust and also and get a long-term perspective plan of their steel requirement, and will help the steel majors to get up to produce accordingly. Now, during this webinar and in the interaction with the oil and gas industry, which ensued thereafter, it was also noted with concern that some of the API grade steel pipes were not available in the country, and also availability of higher thickness plates which are required for pipes and tube industry is a constraint. So in order to encourage these production of these grades in the country, we have these items were included in the PLI scheme, which the steel sector has announced very shortly, around very recently and last week. And we hope that the incentives that we will provide through this PLI scheme shall help the steel producers to start developing and manufacturing these steel grades. And it is hoped that the PLI scheme shall prove to be a massive step towards encouraging domestic manufacturing of specialty steel. It will strengthen end-to-end manufacturing within the country, and it will enable increased investment in R&D and technology. We also hopefully will be able to meet the steel demand of the oil and gas sector, and by reducing import dependence and by producing specialty steel like API grade pipes, thereby achieving our Honorable PM's dream of Atmanirbharta. Let me also share with you that Ministry of Steel has also taken several other path-breaking decisions recently. We have issued quality control orders for almost all grades of steel which are meant for pipes and tubes. We have started the steel import monitoring system, which we call SIMS, to collect granular data regarding the steel being imported into the country. And we share this data in an anonymized form with the steel players so that they can take commercial decisions and manufacture the grades being currently imported. This will help in reducing imports of pipes and tubes in the long run. And we are also encouraging R&D for indigenous development of various special grade steel in the country, and which can be used in making several downstream products, including tubes and pipes as well. The various efforts which the government makes gets complemented with the efforts which you people make, like holding these events. Hence, I would urge the organizers, CII, and the participants of IPT 2021 to share with us the deliberations, the challenges, and the concerns which emerge in this conference, so that the government, which is working towards enhancing ease of doing business and promotes domestic manufacturing, can work upon your suggestions in the best interest of the country and its industry. With this, I would like to thank you all for participating at the International Pipes and Tubes Expo, and also being a part of the special plenary session. And once again, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your impeccable thoughts and views. And we are sure that your insights will be very significant to further the discussions and deliberations on this global platform for the pipes and tubes industry. With this, we move on to wind up the session, and I request Mr. Piruz Kambata, past Chairman, Confederation of Indian Industry Western Region, and Chairman and Managing Director, Rasna Private Limited, to please conclude the session for the day. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to all participants. And my duty is to thank all the speakers. And let me tell you, I'm not from the sector, but hearing Srimati Rasika Chaube, I am impressed that I should invest money in steel pipes probably. And we can put up pipes in homes so people on the tap can get Rasna. So probably like you get gas on the pipe, we'll have Rasna on the pipe. Maybe that's a new idea I'm developing. And I was very happy with the elaborate presentation and the efforts which the Steel Ministry has been putting. And it proves my point, because at least whatever industries I have been, or ministries I have been associated with, I was also chairing the CII EODB task force till last year. And I have always found and seen that that government is the true catalyst and the true friend of industry, especially in the COVID times. These are like pandemics. Nobody has known such things will happen. But I think the bureaucrats and the government have really supported industry with a lot of schemes. And I am also seeing in the steel sector the support. And I was just going through the beautiful PLI scheme which has been announced in specialty steel. And I am absolutely sure that this PLI and all these other efforts and all the other reforms which are taking place, support from finance department, support from the taxation people, I think this will all help us in achieving the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Atmanirbhar Bharat. And I think industry is also taking up this very seriously. And I always believe that we should first concentrate on import substitution, and number two, concentrate more on Make in India and exports. Having said that, I'll also fail in my duty if I don't thank Vikram Kirloskar for a very elaborate, as usual, presentation. I heard it many times, and thank you, Vikram, very much. And it started the tone for today's meetings. I thank Mr. Sanjay Sahani for his welcome address. And obviously, I want to thank all the sponsors of this very important meeting. I also want to thank the CII staff who has worked very hard. And most of all, I would like to thank the visitors who are going to make this event a success. because I do believe that CII's main job is catalyzing industry, and such events, seminars actually help the industry in a very big way. With these words, I would like to once again thank everybody, and let us proceed with the proceedings. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words, and thanking everyone once again for joining us for today's session. All our eminent speakers and all our audiences for joining us. Please keep visiting our virtual exhibition that's happening simultaneously on this platform, where all the top industries members are displaying their technology on the virtual exhibition. And please encouraging us as we strive to serve the economy during these challenging times. Thank you all once again. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See you.